Mr. Wolf's Pancakes by Jan Fernley. Let's celebrate Pancake Day, which is Shrove Tuesday, by reading this lovely book. Oh, look at those gorgeous pancakes. I bet they're going to be delicious. One day, Mr. Wolf was feeling hungry. He fancied some pancakes. Yum, yum, he said, licking his lips at the thought of a big, fresh pile of delicious pancakes. Mr. Wolf had never made pancakes before, so he took his big recipe book down off the shelf and looked inside. But wolves can't read very well, and Mr. Wolf had trouble making sense of it, so he went to get some help from his neighbours. Can you spot what's happening with the book? Has he got it the right way round? He called on Chicken Licken, who lived nearby. "Please, can you help me read this?" he asked. "No," said Chicken Licken, slamming the door in Mr. Wolf's face. Bang! Can you see Mr. Wolf thinking about the ingredients that are in his recipe book? What can you spot that he needs for his pancakes? "I'll go to the shop," he decided, and he settled down to write a list. But wolves aren't very good at writing, so Mr. Wolf called on Wee Willie Winkie. "You're very clever," said Mr. Wolf. "Can you help me write my shopping list, please?" "No," said Wee Willie Winkie. "Go away." He slammed his door. Bang! "There's no need to be like that," Mr. Wolf said quietly. Mr. Wolf sat down and tried very hard with his writing until he made his shopping list all by himself. Now he needed to count his money to make sure he had enough. But wolves aren't very good at counting, so he went to the gingerbread man for some help. "Can you help me count my money, please?" he asked politely. "No, I'm too busy to bother with you," said the gingerbread man, slamming his door. Bang! Oh dear, how do you think Mr. Wolf is feeling? So poor Mr. Wolf had to sit down and count his money. It took him a long time, and he had to check it 3 times before it was right. But he did it all by himself. Mr. Wolf needed a basket to carry his shopping, so he called on Little Red Riding Hood. "Please, may I borrow your basket?" he asked very nicely. "I'm not lending you my basket. I'm not lending my basket to you," said Little Red Riding Hood. "Now clear off." So Mr. Wolf set off to the shop without a basket. "I'll manage," he said. What wild animals can you spot on that page, hiding around the trees, looking at what's going on? See how many you can spot. Mr. Wolf went to the shop. This is old Mother Hubbard's general store. There are lots of characters in this book, aren't there, from traditional tales and nursery rhymes. See which ones you can spot as we go through. He looked at his list, remembered what he needed, counted out his money, and carried the eggs, milk, and flour home, all by himself. He's got a lot to carry there, hasn't he? Can you count how many things he's got? Now it was time to make the pancakes, but wolves aren't very good at cooking. So Mr. Wolf called on the 3 little pigs. "Please, can you help me cook my pancakes? I'll share them with you," he said kindly. "No chance," chorused the pigs, slamming their doors. Bang, bang, bang. Mr. Wolf felt sad because nobody wanted to help him. Mr. Wolf went home and started to make the pancakes all by himself. Soon there was a huge pile of delicious pancakes on the table, all ready for eating. Oh, don't they look delicious? Perhaps you can have a go at making pancakes and tossing them from the pan. If you don't make the pancakes, you could always have a go with something else just for fun. Make sure it's safe though. Now, as Mr. Wolf had been making his pancakes, a lovely smell had drifted out of the kitchen. All his neighbours could smell it, and it made them feel very hungry. They wanted some pancakes too, so they decided to try their luck. Can you spot all the characters from the book on that page? On both pages, in fact. See who you can spot from our traditional tales and our nursery rhymes. Lots of lovely characters that we know. They've been quite different in this book though, aren't they? So they knocked on Mr. Wolf's door. "Give us some of your pancakes," said the rotten lot. "Why should I give any to you?" said Mr. Wolf. "Not one of you would help me." "We'll help you eat them," replied Mr. Wolf's neighbours nastily. "Anyway, we're not going away until you give us some." Mr. Wolf felt very hard for a moment. There was only one decent thing to do. "Oh, very well then," he sighed. "You had better come in." What do you think Mr. Wolf is thinking? How do you think he's feeling? And what do you think is going to happen next? Mr. Wolf opened the door wide, and whoosh! His greedy neighbours rudely pushed him aside and dashed down the hall. Mr. Wolf shook his head, shrugged his shoulders, and followed them into the kitchen. And when they were all in, da, 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 can you see those 3 little dots? We're wondering what's going to happen next. What do you think is going to happen? Mr. Wolf gobbled them up. Snippety, snappety. That was the end of his unhelpful neighbours. And then, with his bulging tummy not quite full, Mr. Wolf sat down to eat his pile of pancakes. And he did this all by himself. How do you think he's feeling now? What happened to all of his neighbours? Well, there was nobody else around. What do you think he's thinking? What do you think he meant by that? Well, there was nobody else around. Have a chat with your families about that. What did you think of the story? Do you think we could learn some lessons from a story like this? I think we can. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for listening.